the way most people hold it, not as it really and truly is, but so most people, their psychological lives is very much about the past. Their spiritual lives is entirely about the future. What may happen, what I hope will happen, what I hope to achieve. This is quite a split, isn't it? You notice neither one of those stories, the psychological story, which is the past, and the spiritual story, which is the hope for the future, are actually have much room in them for here and now. Because for most people, here and now is defined by the past and the future. It's like this, what do they call those doors that kind of swing around and open? A revolving door, yeah, between the past and the future. That's for most people, that's all the present is. It's just this revolving door where their mind is either the past or moving to the future, and the past or moving to the future, and the past moving into the future. But in real spirituality, what one is actually discovering is the truth of now. Because this thing of truth, reality, the sacred which is the timeless dimension. Timeless means no time. It doesn't mean timeless does not mean something that lasts a long time, or really so long that it's timeless. Timeless means no time. No time means now. Reality would have to be now. Truth would have to be something that's true now, would it not? Not something that may be true, or I hope becomes true at some other point in time. But what's actually true now? What is real? What is actual? Right here and right now. It's the same thing with freedom. Freedom never happens in the future. Freedom only happens now. And since freedom is of the same nature of truth, reality, the sacred, it's available now. Freedom is now. The sacred is now. Or as Jesus used to say, the kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth now. Right now. So when most people in spirituality, most all of you have heard, I imagine you all have heard of, now, being in the present moment, all that kind of stuff. But what does the mind do with that? Then it struggles to be in the present moment. As if you have to struggle to be in the present moment. I would like to meet anybody that is at this very moment not in the present moment. I would love to know where you are. Yeah. I would love to find anybody who has ever actually managed to escape now. You may be in the present moment dreaming about being somewhere else. You may be now and wishing you were somewhere else. You may be now and fantasizing about somewhere else. But you've never gotten away from now. You've never gotten away from this very instant. And this is the most important element with any deep spiritual inquiry, deep spiritual seeing, is what you're seeing into is what's right now. Something has to be sacrificed so you can see what's happening now. Something has to be let go of in order for your consciousness to completely open to what's happening now. And what has to be sacrificed to let go of is the past and the future. That's all that has to be sacrificed. So in this instant, if you sacrificed your past, just put it aside. And if you sacrificed your future, so that whatever you hope will happen, you've put it aside. Whatever you imagine may happen, the person you may be tomorrow, the great spiritual achievement you may achieve tomorrow, you just put all of it aside. So you put the past aside and you put the future aside. So there's no running away from the past and there's no running towards the future. And that's the entryway into what's actually occurring right now. The sacred dimension. The sacred dimension is just reality. That's what the sacred dimension means. The sacred dimension doesn't mean some strange place, some other dimension other than here. As far as I'm concerned, almost everybody I meet is already in some other dimension. Right? We don't need to go into yet another dimension, you know? That's why human beings, why we have so much trouble getting along, because we meet and we're in totally different psychological dimensions, different psychological spaces, different little bubbles, colliding, and wondering, why isn't anybody in the same world I'm in? Internally. So everybody's in the same external world, but very few people are in the same internal world. Yeah? So if one was to let go of past for the moment, in this moment, this isn't like an exercise that I'm saying, listen to what I have to say and then do it tomorrow. It's like, can you do it now? Because who knows, you may not make it out of this room. You never know, Something could happen. So it's really is what happens when you let go of past and you let go of projection into the future. Because you see immediately, at the instant you let go of past and you let go of projection in the future, something becomes available. The first thing you notice when you let go of the past and you let go of the future, what might happen, is all of a sudden you don't know who you are anymore. Because you've defined yourself entirely from the past, what has happened, what you're running away from, in the future, what may happen and what you're moving towards. That's how we define ourselves. That's who you think you are, is defined by your past and the future. And if you put the past and the future aside, because after all, they're only abstractions, aren't they? They're only thoughts. The past is nothing but a memory. There's not one scrap of 2 seconds ago that you can drag back into this moment, right? All you can drag back into this moment is a memory. And the future is projection. So both of them occur only in the mind. One of them through memory, the past, the other one through projection into the future. That's called a virtual world. It's living in a world that doesn't actually exist. The past and future don't actually exist, you see. They have become memory and projection. And so you kind of lose yourself when you step out of the past and when you step out of the future. In other words, you don't know how to define yourself anymore. I don't know if you can sense that. Who are you without a past? I mean, this may sound abstract, but if you actually try it on, if you actually do it, you may surprise yourself. What are you without even 1 minute ago? Because one minute ago, you probably had parents, you had a job you were at earlier today, you had what you liked, you had what you didn't like, you see what I mean? You had your spirituality, all that might have existed 1 minute ago, but when you realize it's actually at this instant, my mind's just creating it as a memory. And it defines who you think you are. What happens when you start to let it go? What is it to start to let go of what might happen? Then you start to experience an inward, very simple but very profound silence. It's not a silence that you're achieving through effort. It's an effortless silence. And whatever's happened in the past, even if the past moment or yesterday or last week or 10 years ago, maybe you had some great spiritual revelation. Maybe you had some kind of spiritual awakening. Maybe you had a whole different revelation about your true identity. But even that cannot be let go of as memory, so that all of you can actually be here in a way that's not corrupted by the memory of the past and projection into the future.